What's up, guys? So, take three. I don't know why I'm having so many technical difficulties, but I got it down now. So, this will be my breakdown of Kingdom Hearts 4. And we're going to go through the trailer, dissect everything we can with what we know from the lore, from what we've seen from the reveal trailer of Kingdom Hearts 4, which was 4 years ago, believe it or not. So, enough talking. I'm just going to get right into it. So, I'll be breaking down frame by frame, my frame, and then we'll go from there. So,
この世界の構造はとても複雑で、私たちが定義する光と闇を具現化したものは存在しなかった。でもそれを定義するものがこの世界に来たことで、この世界にも私たちの定義する闇が現れた。
alright, so let's go back to her.
私たちの定義する
Okay, so first and foremost, I have watched other creators. There's like HMK and Gamers Joint. And from what they have discovered or may have found out or maybe alluding to, is that this girl here may be Ava. And it's indeed a female who is wearing this black organization coat. Now, the organization codes go trace back to past the organizations we know today, and we have seen the Master of Masters and Lucio wear this. So people are saying due to the voice actress here, the Japanese VA, is that this is Ava right here. I tend to believe it because the foretellers are back, and at the same time, Ava wasn't there. So I don't know what Nomura has planned for Ava here, but she is definitely going to be important because she's one of the foretellers and she's supposed to be one of the antagonists for this new saga, the Lost Masters arc. And what she says about darkness and light, those concepts did not exist in Quadratum before Sora, Strelitzia, the other deceased Keyblade wielders, and the foretellers, not to mention the Master and Lucio, to have arrived at Quadratum. So essentially, they brought all of the darkness and light with them, with their light and the heartless too. And whatever darkness any of them are packing. So the heartless are now a reality in unreality.
闇が現れた。私たちが定義する光
And here we have, and I'm gonna go back at least one.
私たちが
And here we have Nakashiki Park. I may have butchered that, but this is where Xehanort has been featured with his umbrella, and not only the first drawing of young Xehanort with the translucent umbrella in Quadratum. So Quadratum is essentially Shibuya. Yeah, yeah. And we'll get to that later, but yeah. At first, there are no manifestations of what we know as light and darkness. Yes. Yes. So, pretty much the Heartless are now wreaking havoc here. And let's get to the dark sides.
定義する光と闇を具現化したものは存在しなかった。でもそれを
The dark side is materializing here.
定義するものがこの世界に来たことで
He's beginning to cause some havoc with his heat-like tendrils and whatnot, so he's essentially destroying the city.
この世界にも私たちの定義する闇が現れた。
And the Heartless being given physical forms as they defined it, pretty much their arrival has caused the darkness this to materialize into the Heartless, giving them physical form. Remember that what we learn from Dark Road is that light gives form to the darkness because the darkness cast away their forms a long time ago to combat those of the light. And then let's continue. So here in the reveal trailer, you got Sora facing down the Heartless, and what we see here is that yeah, he's jumping over buildings, and then you got chain with grappling you got him sliding down the building, and that's what happens. And this is also just kind of building scrap system. Now let's take a look at Sora's battle now. See now, this is more. You see, it's even more dynamic here because the camera is shooting in as he's hurling himself towards that car, preparing to face this hard. And then we got a close up. Camera swatted away. But our boy rebounds quickly, so this battle is way different than it was in Kingdom Hearts for the reveal trailer. And let me do some settings real quick. Okay, we're gonna get to Strelitzia in a minute, but yeah, that is a huge grow up, and it shows you how far they have come in development. It is truly impressive. Like this was like the reveal trailer was great before, but this time we have both combatants going at it. It's just shows you the level of polish and development that has gone into KH4 now. It is a completely different game from what we saw in the reveal trailer. And next, I'm going to get into Strelitzia. And we see her here, and guys, she is looking beautiful. Let me get back here. Yeah, so from right here, I thought she looked great before, but when you go from the screenshots from last year, she is an angel. So gorgeous. And right here is even better than before. I mean, they may look the same, but I feel like this is a huge leap up from what we saw from this. And I didn't think she looked bad before. She looked great here, but here, beautiful. Here, even more beautiful. And let's get to the actual scene. So she's so so here, she's looking at another, what I assume to be another black coat here. And I'm just going to call him black coats just to keep things simple. You know what I mean? But I don't know if he's about to tell her something, but that person definitely has her attention. And it could be the female black coat we saw earlier. And notice how she has the Umina Runos for 11. So this highlights to me we're going to get We're going to get an appearance from Lorium because remember, Lorium is Strelitzia's sister, and also he was one of the union leaders, and she was supposed to be a union leader. So, in addition to her being a guy for Sora in Quadratum, she's going to be extremely important, in my opinion, to what goes on next in Kingdom Hearts 4. And how Strelitzia got here is because she got struck down by one of the darknesses, and that darkness is invading Ven, and was never a part of Ven until he fused with Ven. Not fused, but joined with Ven. And that darkness is Vanitas, who I suspect, as one of the true darknesses, is going to be an antagonist. All right, we got this. Let me get out of. All right, so we got this debonair dude here, and I hear thoughts that he's Sigurd. I mean, he's got similar garb with the purple and whatnot, but he doesn't have the hood or the hat. But the hat actually comes from Brain when he first arrives in the Skull and Kyla blank period, where a missing link would have taken place. This is actually Brain's fedora. I don't know how it got there. I don't remember, but it's clear that, and let's remember that Sigurd, or this guy who may be Sigurd, was the narrator for the first trailer of Kingdom Hearts. So that's something to keep in mind. And we got this dude. People have jokingly said he's another Noctis, and I believe it, of course, but his true identity is this guy here, or that may be his true identity. So this is Vali, and this allegedly may be Vali, and he's one of the upperclassmen that young Xehanort, Erquus, and their fellow classmates was charged with tracking down because they disappeared. But later we learned that he was struck down. And that would suggest that he is now in Quadratum because he was struck down. Because Baldur got controlled by the darkness and struck everybody down, like upperclassmen, lowerclassmen. The only ones that remained were young Xehanort and Ericus. And we all know, for those of us who watch Dark Road, we now know why Xehanort does the things he does now. Or at least we have a better indication. But yeah. I mean, the reason why I think he's similar because of the mask, I mean, he's got a more modern day mask and fit, but the hair is the same. The eyes look the same to me. It's just the physical build is too similar here. I mean, this is pretty much allegedly a glow up for Vali here. And now we'll continue on. My man Luxord, he's back. He's back. He's back. Luxord, man, is one of my favorite organization characters. I love this guy. And you can easily tell he's him. I mean, he's looking a bit more shaggy here, but it's all good because you can clearly tell with the two earrings. I can't really bring it up here, but he's missing that nobody the earring he used to sport when he was Luxor. But this is definitely Luxor somebody. And since he is the driver for for uh for Yazora, we can count on our boy having a huge role here, and Yazora as well. But remember, we don't know who exactly what side Luxor and Yazora are on. And people are saying he's more of a Corleone's this mentor slash Ignis. Maybe not Ignis, but definitely Corleone's. This, and I can clearly see that. So yeah. Exciting to have him back here. And he also gave Sora that wild card, so that will come into play as well. But this is confirmation. Luxord somebody. And even that, the other Keyblade wielders from the ancient past, like Loria, Elrena, and the mix is somebody, they're gonna be in this game. I can't wait to see Elrena now that I'm thinking about it. Alright, so let's move on. All right, here we got the Black Feathers. I think this is the Master of Masters. Now, Black Feathers, I know are usually associated with Sephiroth, but here's what I think those Black Feathers belong to. These two here. These two and what we got from Missing Link. There are some Black Feather. They were using these Black Feathers to control people, and I will blow this up even more just so y'all can see. Yeah, so these guys were controlling Keyblade wielders with their black feathers, but the leader, which the player character there's guild belongs to, he quells the feathers, and then these two appear on the rooftop, and I think Newman, I forget what the guy's name is, but he notices their presence and they disappear. So I think you can count on these guys being in Kingdom Hearts 4. I think the Black Feathers are significant of that. But it also could be Sephiroth too. I mean, you never know. Do I think Sephiroth may make an appearance? Yes and no. But it is high time that Final Fantasy characters do return to Kingdom Hearts proper. Okay, we got Donald and okay, this is a continuation of Donald and Goofy being in the Underworld, and they're looking for a way to contact Sora and Quadratum in Unreality. Now, as we know from Dark Road, that when Xehanort's group was in the Underworld, they were able to contact the deceased upperclassmen. So this is Donald and Goofy trying to find a way to contact Sora uh, through unreality. Because remember, they don't know where he is. They're looking for him. But clearly they're surrounded by the blue flames. Now, when Hades blows up, those blue flames actually become red and orange, and he becomes heated, no pun intended. But I think he's being his version of cordial and civil right now. But later, if they say something he doesn't like, or if they say Sora, because Sora has now foiled his plans as much as Hercules, but yeah, they're clearly spooked by this. I would be too. I mean, this is Hades we're talking about. You never know what's up his sleeve or what mood he's in. I mean, you can judge by the flames, but do you know his true mood? I mean, the dude is like a flaming mood ring. And this is the scene that blew my fudging mind. Uh, all these artworks of young Xehanort, confirmation that he's in Quadratum. And look, he's supporting our boy and trying to cover him in the rain. Sora was clearly dejected, but now we have Xehanort giving him the umbrella. And it's just, I think this Xehanort is going to become a friend and an ally to Sora. I mean, I've said that before in one of my articles. And when you look at this, he just looks more peaceful. I mean, he's looking at the viewer, whatnot, and this could be a Nakashita Park too. So this may be where Sora first meets young Xehanort and vice versa. And also, Xehanort talked about having 14 vessels. And that final vessel would go off and explore the world. How he ends up in Quadratum, it could be after Sora, Ra, and Donald and Goofy fee, defeat him at the end of KH3. But this vessel could have been created before that, and there are many possibilities how Xehanort has arrived in Quadratum. And then let's go into the other picture. And it's raining here. And you can tell Xehanort's looking off into the distance here. So I don't know if that means Xehanort will pop up whenever there's rainy weather, but keep in mind, guys, that Nomura's artwork can provide clues on who's going to be in Kingdom Hearts and what role they're playing. So his artwork always has some significance in Kingdom Hearts. And this is what I want to get into also. So we see Sora battling the Heartless, and this is why I chose this video right here, because this video here has all the menus and game and other gameplay elements like Sora's icon with the HP gauge, the MP gauge, and whatever this supposed to be. I'm thinking that's focus for whatever forms he might have. But this Keyblade here, this Keyblade is like a combination of fire and water, and you can tell by this menu because you got the fire, the water, you got the reds, then the blues, and then with the particle effects, let me go back a bit. Yeah, right here, these particle effects here. So you got this watery flower effect, and then you got this fiery flower effect here. And you can see as Sora is attacking these Heartless, the flame is flowing, but it's also cools down and becomes a black color. And then we have this rock forming here. So remember, when magma cools, it becomes igneous rock, if I remember my science correctly. And igneous rock, ooh, hoo, 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 hoo. So let's go back to that shot. So we got the lava slash, the flowing edge. I think that's what he's doing here. And notice, new build. And I didn't quite catch that volcanon. I think that's what triggers whatever ending finishers and whatnot. I can turn this off now. Whatever ending finishers, new build indicates that, and I think Sora would have had Volcanon here. And then the igneous impact, so I was right on my side. Okay, so he unleashes igneous impact, but he doesn't use the new build here. So I think after using whatever the Keyblade's attacks or builds are, that is what gets you the new build, and then that's when you can release the finisher, and we'll see that in the next. Look at my man, he's surfing up, You got the volcanic pillar of light, like shooting down, and then oh, you see that? Hmm. Creates a magma area effect attack that is so powerful it launches that huge heartless away. I mean, Sora always loses his powers or he gets reset it at the beginning of every new mainline Kingdom Hearts, but bro, yeah, he may be OP from the start. Okay, now he's using these chains. And notice that the Keyblade commands are different now, so it shifts from the Quadratum menu. And then as we go further in, Heart Barrage, I think that's another new build. You got the whip. I didn't catch that. So he unleashes Heart Barrage. Not the whip. Okay, here's what I'm talking about here. So we got build here. And essentially we got Shade Raid, which Shade Raid, I think that's where Sora, that's how he latches on to whatever object he uses the Keyblade chain for. And then you got Star Ring. So let's see how this all builds up. But right now, I think he's using the Chain Raid and then whatever attack he used beforehand. Okay, so here, this is where he opens the door. This is clearly a finisher. And you know what? I dig this because it pays homage to him always using the Keyblade blade like this to open doors and stuff. But here, he's created something from the build mechanic and is about to release something really cool and really big to finish these Heartless off. And he's surfacing on these keyblades, excuse me. And these Heartless are helpless as he's doing this. And then as he's surfing, also, another thing to point out, he is surfing on these keyblades. And then he crashes into the Heartless with that keyblade surfing. That is something that Vanitas does too. So he picked that up from Vanitas, who is not only his darkness, but Ventus's darkness now too. This is so sick, by the way. All right, now we get to this final scene. So so we get some gameplay with the Heartless list. It looks like he doesn't have build yet, so this is just a regular battle. But that Darkside is like punching, stretching his fist out. And then Sora goes in for the combo. And notice how he's destroying these tendrils that are coming out of the dark side's fist. And it looks like it has a little heat there too. So I wonder if these tendrils will not only damage you and burn you as well, but this combo here is pretty sick here. I think that's reminiscent of Kingdom Hearts 3. So I feel like they built this whole thing out of Kingdom Hearts 3, the combos, what we have here with the portraits and the HP gauge, the MP gauge, and whatever this is. And then we got the menu here, and this is the commands and whatnot. And then as we continue, so he forms a barrier here. And I think he got that from so notice how a bubble forms after he does this. Alright. Yeah, so you got and this here is how a bubble forms. And Sora's protected by this after the Darkside's next attack. Continue on. And then it destroys, reveals more people, and the heart Darkseid is thinking, again, oh, it's lunchtime. Now, granted, he's in the middle of a battle, so he probably needs more hearts to consume so he can get his strength back. But Sora, being the hero he is, comes in and blocks for the people. Get So Sora block. I don't think I'm gonna get it, but Sora blocking that shot pretty much means that in addition to the battles being, in addition to gameplay and the battles going on, there's gonna be some cinematic actions here. And this is something that we see in Final Fantasy, like modern Final Fantasy, where the gameplay, the boss fights, the regular battles bleed into bleed into the scenes, the environment, and it all becomes cinematic. So I think we can count on with the technology they have now, count on Kingdom Hearts battles bleeding into more cinematics, which I think is dang cool. And I noticed that from what we've seen here, and this is where we got reaction. I'm glad we have reaction commands again. I think the situation commands, I'm not gonna say they're gone forever, but I think they just went back to reaction commands because let's be honest, they were more fluent than situation commands because they kept up the thrill, the action, kept the gameplay flowing. When Because when you do a cinematic action, not a cinematic action, a reaction, you would get some cinematics where Sora is doing some flashy moves to counter or even react to things. So reaction commands are back, which is a cool thing. I like the situation commands, but the way they would stack up on top of each other, they felt a little OP. But I'm hoping that the reaction commands will be like a chain reaction to the situation commands where you can still get that fire gun, and fire za, because that was a cool evolution. And that is the thing I like most about the situation commands. The grand magic. So I'm hoping some of that comes back, the grand magics mechanics from Kingdom Hearts. And just to wrap this up here, got that beautiful logo. So available at launch for the Nintendo Switch 2. So I told you guys the reasons why I picked this, but let's go to another version of
この
this. And I'm just going to go to the end here. So I find this to be a very good sign, but they do not have now in development, which people hated, including myself, of course, and multi-platinum at launch. I think this is significant because they're working on all these versions at the same time. And then also, I think not having a now in development or Magic in the making, that tells me that this game is very far along in development, which is great news. Now, to wrap this up, there was some Australia game stores out there, EB Games. I forget what the other one is. It's a native Australian store, but they they had this ad for the collection that's coming to all of the platforms, the Switch 2 native collections. Those are all coming to other platforms, by the way. But in the description, they had 2027 for Kingdom Hearts 4. I think that's a possibility, but we're not going to see that until I would say fall of 2027 or late 2027 going into 2028. I feel like that's a more spread out release schedule because remember, we got Final Fantasy 14's newest expansion, Evercold, and then we got Final Fantasy 7 Revelation coming out in spring 2027. Could it be summer? Yeah, but I think it's later summer, like let's say August. Yes. But I'm betting on fall or winter of 2027 or early 2028. But it's a nice cadence if that's going to be the case. But y'all, I am so happy Kingdom Hearts 4 is back. And I had the pleasure of breaking this down for you guys. Had some technical difficulties. My apologies, but yeah, I'll be breaking all this up into time frames and whatnot. But that's it for me today. Thank you for watching. Chin, like and subscribe. There will be more Kingdom Hearts 4 coverage and other video games from Summer Games Fest. At least my highlights. I'm gonna get on Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix. We're gonna go to Disney Castle. So feel free to join me. We can talk more. Watch me save Disney Castle from whatever evils will has descended upon it. And hap- and let's get right to it. Kingdom Hearts is back. Thank you for watching. And I'll see you guys real soon.
Without you, my friend, and I'll tell you all about